just know it's a beautiful area on the Olympic Peninsula. That whole area on the Olympic Peninsula of Washington is really beautiful, kind of spooky, depending on what part of the forest you're in. It's great, and yeah. So this place has reservations, but they are staggered, like some loops in the campground. You can reserve, like, I don't know, 4 months in advance or something. Others, you can do like a month or something like that. But she really wanted to be in this one specific loop that was closer to the river. And that spot you can only reserve 4 days in advance. So it was kind of like nerve-wracking to not know if we had a spot so close to our trip. So she got up real early on the day that reservations opened, and she got a spot. She did not get her number 1 spot, but she got a good spot. So yeah, we drove. We backed up our car. It was, well, actually, it wasn't as packed as it usually is. My in-laws had a crab pot that they were borrowing from someone, or I think a crab pot is actually the trap. I mean, like a big, just cooking pot that is used for boiling crabs. So they had me pick that up from a family friend, along with a big burner for it, and they had some plans to do stuff with that. Well, I guess I can talk about that now, but the story will conclude later. But one of the things they wanted to do with that burner is they wanted me to bring my Dutch oven to make biscuits. The last time I tried making biscuits was Thanksgiving. I think it was either Thanksgiving or Christmas. It had to be Thanksgiving. And that failed. Too hot. I burned the outside of the biscuits while having them very raw in the middle. Give me one moment. I'm gonna turn down my headphones because it's distracting listening to myself so prominently. Give me one moment. Yeah. Okay, that's a lot quieter. I am not gonna edit that out. You get to see the process. Anyway, well, now it's too quiet. It's too quiet. Okay, how's that? Okay, that's better. Maybe I will just go like this. One ear on, one ear off. Okay, there we go. So, yeah. I pre-mixed all of the dry ingredients the night before and brought along the wet ingredients. And yeah, I was kind of looking forward to it. I was a little annoyed that they kind of signed me up for making a thing that I have not had success with yet. Because I just want to hang out while camping, but whatever. So yeah, we were gonna make biscuits on that with my Dutch oven, and the plan was to also have my father-in-law, we found out on the trip that his plan was to try to catch a crab with a fishing pole. I guess he's looked it up and it's possible. I've just never ever heard of such a thing. lots of, snacks, lots of beer, car, maintenance supplies, and a nice bathroom, and overall, real nice. And yeah, big selection of beer, wine, hard ciders, seltzers. I saw that they had, I'm blanking out, full throttle energy drinks. I am not an energy drinker, but long ago when I worked his fishing pole is connected to that and something else. But as we're walking to the jetty, the wind is blowing like at us, and it's blowing sand in our faces, and it was not very fun. And like, yeah, I felt so bad for my daughter because she was like, I don't want this, too windy. But yeah, so instead of playing in the sand, she played in the water some more. And like, you may recall one of my recent Whisper Rambles, I mentioned how I rescued my father-in-law and his like trailer, and how he was injured. At least I assume I mentioned he was injured. He's always injured. Well, he is still injured, and like the whole fishing on the jetty thing did not work out right away. He can't move his leg good enough to be on the rocks, and yeah, he immediately slipped, and got scolded by his wife and my wife, and yeah, because you know, he doesn't like to give up. But yeah, he almost just totally fell into the water with big rocks, big waves. So it didn't work out. So luckily, the big pot wasn't just for the crab. It was also to make biscuits. So that wasn't space wasted in their truck. So yeah, we hung out there, took lots of pictures, and blah blah blah. I feel like something else happened there. Oh, their dog found a hot dog in the sand and ate it. It was gross. Ew. Ew. So, okay, those two beaches, Rialto Beach and First Beach, they have a parking lot that you can park at and just, walk right on to the water. The other two beaches, Second Beach and Third Beach, both have little hikes to them. So we went to Second Beach. I think it was Second. So me, my wife, and my daughter were gonna walk the trail to see what it was like, to see if my father-in-law's leg could do it. He's not supposed to bend it because it will hurt. And so yeah, we park, and the trail has like kind of a rough beginning if you have a leg injury, but then it kind of evens out, and it's like, okay, if you get past that hard spot, then you're good for a while. But then you get to like, you kind of go uphill gradually, and then you got to go back down, and it's a lot of steps, a lot of leg work. So we didn't think that was gonna work for him. So yeah, it's just under a mile hike, so not too bad. Even with a kid, she walked almost the whole way. There were so many cool trees, so many cool spooky trees, like lots of trees that had grown on like an old stump, and the stump has since rotted away, so the trees are up in the air with their roots, looking like fingers, or like tentacles. Very spooky, very cool. And yeah, the beach was big, and this beach is a lot closer to the rock formations, like the little islands in the water, films that I got a while ago is like really, really, really low ISO, like 0.6. So ISO, I think a standard ISO would be like 400, and each time you double or have the ISO, that's, half the light or half the sensitivity. So 0.6 is very, very, very low. So 400, 200, 100, 50, 25, 12.5, 6.25, whatever. Let's say 3, 1.5 point. I cannot keep that finger up. Yeah, that's like, it's like seven stops, seven halves. So, that required a tripod, and I did bring that, so that's good. So I'm curious to see how that film worked out. For that, I think I mostly didn't have people in it because the shutter was so slow that it would have been blurry. rows of like animal cards, like hippo, ostrich, alligator, whatever. And there's a deck of cards, and so you have your cards, and you are trying to cover like 4 cards in a row, up, down, across, or up, down, diagonal, however. And so you can put, one of your token chips down when you have that card. And yeah, you can block people or whatever. But we taught her that, and she loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. It was so sweet seeing her play with people. And she really likes routine, so when we were showing her the game to demonstrate our turns, we were like, I think I'll put down the elephant, and then, put our token on the elephant. So yeah, just for teaching purposes, we explained what we were doing. I think I'm going to, and now that's like how she plays. Each time she puts a card down, or a chip, she says, I think I play my, and then when we just do our turn without announcing it, she's like, no, you have to say, I think I put down alligator. So very sweet, very cute. So yeah, played that multiple times. self-earned service.